Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Real Talk Girlies podcast. I'm your host, Joe, and I'm here with my friend today.
Hi, I'm Noah
This is Noah. He's one of my really good friends. We work together.
at Starbees.
Okay, you know what? Anyways, and right now we are in a nice hotel at the Turning Stone, and we just had a real debate today, and it was something that I didn't even think needed to be a debate, but you know what? After what he said in his choices, it's a debate. Our favorite cartoons. Now, when you think of cartoons, you think of like the classics like SpongeBob, Very Odd Parents, but there's some hidden gems that you may have forgotten about. So we did a list today listing our top 10 cartoons, and let's just say we are complete opposites. So Noah, what would you say was like one that is like arguably one of the best out of the 10 that you picked?
Out of the 10 that I picked, well, I mean, we both had SpongeBob on our list, so I think I think that's undeniable for like everyone. What else did we have that was matching?
Well,
We had a lot of similar honorable mentions, honestly, and I think that's probably like a lot for like there's probably like a core group of like cartoons for our generation and like the rising generation and Gen Z, like the Zoomers. Like you had Total Drama Island as like a classic for like the younger generations.
It was 2007.
Well, yeah, but like I guess it still seems like a little younger, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Cuz then like yeah, kids born in 2000 or like the very tail end of the millennials, the very early Zoomers would have been watching that as young children too. And so like probably because it was a kids show too. It was like a cartoon.
Listen, it was a teen show in my eyes.
Because part of this ranking
they showed
system,
boobies on it almost.
Almost. Part of the ranking system we had is that it wasn't just cartoons; it was any animated show.
Yeah, and yours a lot were more like anime.
Yeah, my list had a lot of anime on it. But I do think going back to like the core list, there are like the honorable mentions. We had Kim Possible.
Yes. Foster Home Imaginary Friends.
Yeah, Foster's Home was incredible.
Camp Laszlo.
Powerpuff Girls, very honorable
Grim
mention.
Reaper Show.
Grim Adventure of Billy and Mandy. That one was so wild, but like I feel like everyone Courage the Cowardly Dog, I feel like
I
has
didn't
to
like
be in
that
it.
one.
But I feel like everyone's got very vivid. Well, I guess if we're talking about favorite memories, I was thinking everyone's got very vivid memories of it, and it's very
that one scared
popular
me.
amongst like some crowds, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never into it either, so maybe it isn't an honorable mention for either of us.
But I just think it's really funny of how like even though we all came from like different backgrounds and stuff, like a lot of the shows were all like out there for us to see like in the early 90s and 2000s. So it's like funny of how like in a way like we can connect on certain shows and without even being like in each other's lives. It's like, you know, like all those shows are from the past, but in a way they come back with us to help us connect with others. Like when you meet somebody's like from like that was born like in the early 2000s or late 90s, they've probably seen SpongeBob or something, and it's
yes,
like,
or you can like quote SpongeBob at work and everyone's like, oh my gosh, yes, I love that episode.
right,
or you know, even just
it's
like
a good like conversation piece.
Lots of memes have been birthed
And
from
memes.
SpongeBob, so the iconic show. We love Steven Hillenburg, R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, pour some out for Steven Hillenburg.
Even like the movie
Go
is like a
Ocean.
classic.
David Hasselhoff, you did good, Hasselhoff.
Oh my god, he was so
Mermaid
hot in
Magic.
that.
Got a mustache.
The
got a
chess
mustache,
scene
yeah.
though, bro, like why couldn't that be me?
The what?
You don't remember?
Oh,
the
when he launches. I thought you said
Oh.
chess, and I was like thinking of like a Bug's Life when the guy is playing chess in the very beginning.
Bitch, don't make
the
this
little
nerdy.
Pixar.
What you mean?
It's not well, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's nostalgia. Well, everyone knows that one.
But no, I just think it's really cool that like we have like a lot of our cartoons like we grew up with, and like we continuously, for some of those shows, due to how iconic they were in our eyes, they like are still great conversation and nostalgia things to share with other people.
I also think it's incredible. Like a lot of these shows have, like they've lasted a generation or now. Like
Yeah.
too. Like SpongeBob is still on the air. People are still making
20
episodes
years.
about it. Yeah, for real. And then like even like I think I had like going back to like a lot of animes. There are a lot of animes that have been out for like 20 plus years now. Like One Piece is one. It wasn't on my list, but it's one of the longest living animes. There's The
Yeah.
Simpsons, which I think was an honorable mention for us, and that's been around since like I think before the 80s or something like that. I think it started in like the late 60s,
And then
maybe
there's
the early
like those
70s.
cartoon shows that only were on for like 2, 3 seasons, such as Teen Titans, Avatar, and even Gravity Falls that were
Gravity
like
Falls.
kind of short, but like they did so much in like a short period of time. Like some people find like
That's such an
those,
impact on people.
yeah, like in just 3 years, like some people find like those shows to be like more
I honestly,
hitting.
I think there's a reason for that. I think because like the quality of the content is like so relatable, or maybe it's like because it's such a touching matter, or they have like such hard hitting issues that they don't need like a lot of content in order to make like a powerful statement or to have like an impact on people.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like if their shows designed to be, like just kind of like filler content almost, like not really plot based, then
Yeah.
um it's easier to just have show or episode. Like SpongeBob doesn't really have a plot. It's just kind of like following sea creatures around as they live
Right.
their
Like it can
lives.
go on forever. Like it
Yeah,
has.
exactly. As long as you've just got new scenarios for them to like get into and like new things for them to do.
Right.
Um
They can always like wiggle out a new idea or something
yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
never ending.
Yeah, as long as you just like, just make another karate episode or something like that,
Right. In my eyes, I feel like SpongeBob like ended after the movie though.
I don't really know when. I think the voice actors switch. I think Patrick has a new voice actor, and I think they started writing the characters
Does he
differently.
really? I
Yeah.
don't think so.
I think he might, but I'm not sure. I would have to go back and watch.
Yeah.
I think around season 7, season 8,
No
there was a
shit.
divide. I'm not sure. I want to believe that it wasn't due to Steven Hillenberg's death, like the past few
Yeah.
years, but maybe it was, and that would be
Tragic.
understandable from a capitalist standpoint, but disheartening from your
Now,
standpoint.
we didn't ask this in our debate earlier today, but out of all the anime and cartoon shows you listed, which one do you feel like you as yourself as your own person, like Noah, could like fit in any plot of any one of the shows? Which would it be?
Like I could fit into any plot. What do you mean?
Like you can be a character in one of the shows as
Like
yourself.
I could be like a stand-in. Like I could be a part of the
Yeah, you
the
could be a
show
part
and
of the
just like
show.
not have to change my character at all.
Right, you go in as Noah.
Um. Well, I don't have my list in front of me. Most of the animes wouldn't work because I don't know any magic or have any like crazy strong physical abilities. I mean, I could be just a standard person and One Punch Man or
I'm talking like
Mob
main
Psycho or
character.
main character,
Like you are one of the main characters.
main cast.
Yeah, or cast.
Gravity Falls, 'cause it's just simple town life. Avatar: The Last Airbender, 'cause they're just people on a quest.
Who would you like? What do you think you would be? Like, would you be like one of like their best friends? Would you be like one of the boyfriends? Like, what do you think? Like, how would you like fit in?
I don't know. They're all children in these shows. I couldn't date any of them, so not that.
I would hope
I'd
not.
probably have to be a friend or mentor or, just someone
Maybe a
to keep everyone
neighbor.
calm. I
Yeah.
think that's what I do at most of my life is just keep everyone calm and like
Just offer them weed.
just good vibes. Just keep everyone moving along. So
And for me personally, because
maybe I'd be that character that like they're like they're having like super dilemma or something and they like run away from it all and then they go meet someone on the street and they're like, here's a sage bit of wisdom, go back to life.
Go
No,
back to
that's more like John gives better advice than I do.
John is a fellow coworker of
Yo,
ours.
my portion of this podcast dedicated to my man John and his podcasts.
He has a very high bromance with this man, John.
I love John.
All right, we'll get back to your love life later. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't know which I don't know if there's any shows on my list that I would just be able to like plant myself in. Maybe that's why I like them is because they're like different from my own life and like I really
Yeah.
don't get that kind of the perspectives that they offer.
right. It's like cool, like to kind of like get out of like your comfort zone and like in a way adapt to a show that's like totally something that you've never
Actually,
seen.
Attack on Titan, it would be very terrifying and everything like that, but I think it would be one that I could plant myself in and do pretty decently.
Okay. For me, I think because I'm very like imaginative and like my imagination, like even writing songs or just like what I think
Yeah.
endlessly is really creative. I think I'd be really cool in foster home of imaginary friends because I feel like I could make up some really cool imaginary friends.
Well, but you what? So I'm curious about that because like the show was like these imaginary friends had been created by children, and then they'd grown like too old from them, or their parents had been like, you can't have this imaginary friend anymore, so they had to go into like
Right.
adoption services. So it creating more
So I would do
be
like
a
what
good thing, or
I
would
would do
that
it
be
when
like, would you be creating like your own, what do they call that, like supply and demand issues, like a recession on
um
imaginary friends by create, like it kind of had that with the scribbles when they like had all the scribbles
oh
overrun the
yeah,
house because there were too many of them because the babies just kept coming up with
right.
stuff and they're like
I would have to
overrun
definitely like control my brain for sure because I never stop thinking, but I think I would do what Max does of how like he had that one imaginary
with
friend
Blue,
and I would go visit them so that way I can that way they wouldn't be taken away.
so they couldn't be adopted out.
Right. And then I
Because
would
your mom said
also
Terrence is too important and you are
fuck
terrorizing.
Terrence, bro. His
Terrence
teeth were
literally.
jacked as fuck.
Also, what kind of family situation is that where it's like your family is bullying you so much that they're making you get rid of like your
Your
best
only
friend
friend.
so that way you're less of a target in your bully's eyes?
Bruh.
Like, yeah, just get rid of part of your personality. So, like, what has that ever done for people?
But I think it'd be really
I
cool
feel
to
sorry.
to like imagine like other creations for other people to adopt.
Yeah, that could be like there's like a very artistic aspect to that.
Right, like knowing like just like a song, like like when someone listens to my song or like considers it something that they find like relatable or something that's like, oh my god, that's so sweet. I feel like that would relate to like the imaginary friend thing of like if someone took one home that I created, that'd be cool. But at the same time, like as of like me having like my own Blue, I would want that to myself, similar to how like I write certain songs that I'll never release
Yeah.
because they're too personal and I want to keep them for myself and just like look back on.
Yeah, it's just like processing or like a way to
It's just like kind of like stuff that I just want
like
to myself. Like
process.
there's a couple things in life that I'm selfish with.
Yeah. And also I'm thinking now about like how most of the imaginary friends were created for like a purpose for their like the person who imagined them to like fill a role in that person's life.
Right.
Like thinking about Wilt, he was made by like a kid who wanted someone to play basketball with, and like his whole origin was that he was really
Right.
good at basketball, and that's why he was really tall and had such long arms. And so like being able to like match like what kind of needs someone needs, like what kind of imaginary friend someone would need, and like what kind of components that imaginary friend would require. Because who's the big purple guy?
That's Eduardo.
Eduardo. I wanted to say Eduardo, but I wasn't sure. Like Eduardo's very different from Wilt, and he was created so that someone could have like a big, tough-looking friend who is also really sweet and keep him like safe.
Yes.
So,
that show is just layers of deepness. Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of like our shows. Now, I don't know if it's because we're deep individuals, but I feel like a lot of the shows that we watch as kids had like so many like Easter eggs or such
that's
hidden
Gravity
meanings.
Falls.
You guys
love Gravity Falls, and you don't even know
you
it.
guys listen to me. I'm sorry, I don't like Gravity Falls.
Gravity
I
Falls
thought
is
it was
the
cringy.
number one on my list
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 100%.
because they have good taste sometimes.
That is a lie.
I am.
I'm gonna
I'm
go.
the reason
I'm calling
for the
corporate.
100%.
You're the only
I made
100.
so many ghost accounts to get
I bet
Gravity
you
Falls
did.
up to 100%.
I bet you did. I really can't believe it got 100%.
It's just
the
it's
theme
again,
song's
it's
not
a,
even good.
Take it back right now. The
It's-
theme is a banger.
What?
It's a banger, Joe.
It's so
a
annoying.
Banger.
I'm sorry, I can't say Boehner right. How do you say it?
A banger.
Banger.
You don't pronounce the G. You
Banger.
also there was something earlier that you said without the G too, and I was like, there it is again.
Should I just make a song called Boehner and just keep saying it wrong
Boehner.
and then I trigger everyone? How do you say? Okay, banger.
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 Boehner.
It sounds like I'm saying Boehner.
There's a joke that's like anything that ends in ER, you say that, and they're like, that I hardly know her. And my friend, his name was Joey. Actually, he was back in high school, and he would anytime a teacher said that, he would just be like, because he never paid attention, because
Period.
he was like one of those smart kids who's just like, I've got more important things to do than like listen to my teacher. Like I can pay attention for like 5 minutes, ask what's going on, and then figure out how to do it and get it done like flawlessly.
Yeah, I've known people like that.
And so like when we were in class, he'd just be screwing around and be like, oh wait, what do I do? All right, here it is.
But
And so there'd just be so many times where he'd just be like not paying attention for like 15 minutes, and then the teacher would say something that ended in ER, and he'd be like, monster, I hardly know her. And I'd be like, Joe, you haven't said anything all class, but thank you for that.
I can't.
He's a cool dude.
Well, I guess the moral of the story is, pay a visit back to your old cartoon shows and, like, really watch them and think to yourself, like, is there something that relates to you now in your adulthood? And, like, do you view the show differently? Do you view it as something more...
Connect with different characters
Yeah,
or
do you
different
connect with
perspectives?
different characters? Or do you think that they were trying to say something deep that we just missed because we were too focused on, like, the humor and lighthearted jokes? Like, I guess, pay a visit back to your favorite cartoon show and get back to us and leave it in the comments of what your favorite ones were. And if you say Gravity Falls, you're wrong.
You are my hero if you say Gravity Falls.
All right, guys,
Gravity
so
Falls
we're closing
gang.
up today. Well, but of all fairness and everything, thank you, Noah, for being a part of this chat. And
thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me
showing-
on. It was fun to
Yeah.
figure this out. We had to spend
Don't expose me.
Okay, never mind. We had to spend a few minutes having a conversation. No, I don't even know. It
Oh
was
my
fun. It
God.
was fun being on here. It's
For
fun
sure.
talking into a mic.
All right, well, yep.
Throwback to John.
All right, so
Throw-
we're gonna go
throw
FaceTime John
forward
now
to
because this one's
Joe.
getting a little thirsty for
No, I
him.
said throw back to John. Throw forward to Joe, because John did the first part. John was the first time I'd ever been a part of a podcast was when
Oh yeah, that's
I don't even know if we were
right.
like recorded anything. It was like 2 minutes of recording, so I don't even know if that counts.
Kinda.
Anywho.
All right, guys. Well, leave comments below of your favorite cartoons and let me know if you discovered something different about them.
Wait, should we actually like say what like some more of our top 10s were? Because I think I listed a few of mine. I don't think you ever said. So what were your top 3? Let's quickly go over your top 3 before we stop.
My top 3 were number 1, SpongeBob, 2 was Regular Show, and 3 was Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, phenomenal. I never watched regular show. SpongeBob, iconic. I don't know if it deserves number 1. There's more stuff that I like than SpongeBob. My number 1, Gravity Falls, because so much replayability.
We've
So you can
established
watch
it.
over and over and over again. So much to get involved with, and the characters are super fun. Number 2 was Mob Psycho 100. If you don't watch anime, go watch Mob Psycho 100. It's on Crunchyroll. Creators of it also created my third favorite show, One Punch Man. Also an anime on Hulu. Both really incredible shows. One Punch Man's just fun anime. Mob Psycho 100 is definitely more like heartfelt and about a middle schooler going through like challenges with fitting in. It's also got amazing animation. Both of them have incredible animation and drawing, and they're just fun to watch.
Yeah, so let us know what your favorites are, guys, and I hope you enjoy this listen and have a great night. Bye.
Bye.